Okay, so wow. First things first, can I just say that I am so excited to do this today? For those of you who missed it, we recently hit 10,000 subscribers. And when we did, I opened up a little Q&A just for anybody to ask me any questions they might have. And now, after the hour-long Poppy Playtime video, we're finally doing it. And also in that time, not only did we hit 11K, we're also now coming up on 12K. I don't really know if we'll be at 12K by the time this gets posted, but holy God. Thank you guys so much. And really, it's perfect timing too, because this is gonna get posted on May 9th, which means you guys will be watching this hopefully on my birthday, which is May 9th. So yay, happy birthday to me. Thank you guys. And if you're somehow watching this and you're not subscribed already, that means you are now contractually obligated to and also like the video and also hype the video and also get on the Patreon. All jokes aside, I'm incredibly grateful for the support you guys have shown me. Your guys' comments and everything, like it means the world to me. And also the other people who help out with these videos as well. That being Cerbera, Starboy, and the Train Nerd. And while I was joking around, if you do want to help out the channel more and also get perks like early access to uploads, shoutouts, a community Discord where we'll host events and stuff, and even an illustrated portrait of your Sona, then do feel free to join the Patreon. I really want to be able to do more big videos like the Poppy one in the future, because as it stands, that is just the best video that's on this channel so far. And so if you feel the same way, then supporting the Patreon is the best way to help us make that happen. But enough of the plugin. Let's get right into the questions. Now, there are some questions that are asking the same thing, so I kind of grouped some of them together, but I am reading out everybody's names. The first of these questions, which I'm very, very excited to answer, by the way, comes from SkellyRandom.25 and 1000 the Earth Mover, who asked me what inspired or made me want to start making videos like this. And so that kind of requires me to tell you why Neo Woody Theory got made, because it all comes down to that. So within my friend group, I was like the #1 defender of Woody Theory. Like I was fighting tooth and nail for it. The whole time we were building up to chapters 3 and 4, I was like, it's gonna happen. It's real. Trust me. This is no coincidence. And then we got to chapter 3 and there was no sign of Woody at all. But then, after having completed chapter 4, I said, no. I have a plan. And my buddy Train Nerd was like, what are you talking about? And I said, we're bringing Woody Theory back. This is Neo Woody Theory. And I sketched out this little thumbnail idea and I sent it over to Boyd and I was like, do you think you could turn this into something really cool? And they were like, I got you. And I put it together in this really structured way. It was the first time I had ever done something like that. And I just posted it and I crossed my fingers that it would have the effect that I wanted it to have. And right when I posted it too, like Spooky Dude also, like at the same time, made another Woody Theory video. But I'm glad that either way, my video still did pretty good. And I have the honor of being listed on the Deltarune Theories wiki. There's like a whole dedicated Neo Woody Theory section. But after this, you know, I didn't really think about becoming some kind of YouTuber, you know? It was just lingering in my head that video was so well received. Because I got so many comments being like, this is so entertaining, this was a really fun video, you should make more content like this. And that was all so encouraging. Because for all two of you who know like the ronbrazy lore, you know that I used to make gaming content when I was like a pubescent teenager. And all of those videos are like basically lost media now. And they have been for many, many years, especially since I started like making FNAF music in the Friday Night Funkin' community, but especially because I was preparing to start university. So like for context, I am Canadian born and I was planning to go to school in the United States. But due to complications that it would take me a long time to get into, it suddenly became incredibly unrealistic for me to have like a long-term career in the United States. And so out of nowhere, I just kind of had to abandon all of the connections that I had made and all the progress that I've gotten. Like I was really right there. I was about to start class. And so I kind of had to pull back. I continued to work here in Canada and there was just something in the back of my mind being like, man, I have so much more free time than I thought I would be having at this point. Maybe I could try making videos too. But what really did it for me is that like one day I woke up and I saw this comment, and normally my phone would have way more notifications, but this morning there was just one singular comment telling me how they loved Neo Woody Theory and how they were disappointed there was not more ronbrazy content. And that's what made me get up off my ass. I called up Boyd, I called up Train Nerd who made that funny ass song that was at the end of Neo Woody Theory, and I said, I have an idea. What if we just started doing this together? You know, I could continue to host the videos and we can really make something happen, or at least try. And that's how we get to the Crazy Theories video. And then after that, my good friend Cerbera offered to come and edit my videos, and we set up a whole thing for that. And that's when I started doing the YouTube shorts and stuff too. And so really what it comes down to was I made Neo Woody Theory completely in hopes of like reviving it, and Spooky Dude really played a huge hand in that too. But my videos stemmed especially from the inside joke dynamic of my friend group, but it was the abundance of positive comments that inspired me and made me want to do this. And my real life circumstances around school just made it way more possible for me to do that. I suppose I should probably also add in there, I would have gotten in a lot of trouble for making videos if I was going to school in the US, because I'm a Canadian, you know, I can't have any flow of income like that, you know? I'm trying not to get into that because that's like a whole confusing head mess, but that's the most earnest and honest answer I can give you guys. I'm here because you guys encouraged me to do this, and I am eternally grateful. In my heart of hearts, I am a storyteller who loves storytelling, and I'm sure if you've watched all my videos, you've picked up on that. And so I want my channel to be kind of unique in the sense that there's this kind of through line, that no matter what angle I take or what I talk about or what style I do it in, I wrap it back around to that idea of the vision of the artist and what makes a good story. And I always try to experiment and do something new, so do try to keep up with my community posts, because I like to check in and touch base with you guys as frequently as I can. And I love to get you guys' suggestions as well. Anyway, this next question is also one I was really looking forward to answering, and a lot of people asked this one too. We got Andude the Ditto, Zilly Pal, Party Bluke 7699, Pixel, Oh Boy 3 AM, and Brayden Doesn't Post, who asked me about my Sona character and the origins of it and how I created it or whatever. And now listen, this is gonna sound really crazy, but you have to promise me that you're gonna just walk with me for a second, okay? Flashback to when I was like maybe 13 years old. I'm sitting there on a video call with some of my friends I still hang out with to this day. And there's this empty soda can. And I think I might have been using these pliers for something. I don't know what I was using them for, but nonetheless, I had them there in front of me. I go and start tearing off the top of the can with the pliers, right? So it's just a hollow circle up top, and then I shoved the pliers into the can. Afterwards, I held him up to the camera and started waving him around like a little character, and it only then occurred to us that it looked like a can with little devil horns, and so then I drew it, and the logo became the eyeball. And you know, it was a Pepsi can, so it's, you know, the little swoosh of red, that became the eyelid. Genius, right? Genius. But yeah, that's the origin of him. He's been around for so long, he's been in so many things, and yeah, that's me. This next one is from TC Gaming 55, and it's a question I really wanted to answer early as well. They said, my question that I've answered myself way too many times. If you could make a game, what would be the genre, demographic, kind of gameplay, basic events, and story? Now, I don't know if you guys have checked my about or anything, but I am a musician and a programmer and a voice actor and all this stuff. There's been this world of characters that I've had for a really, really long time, and I would really love to bring them to the forefront. And in fact, there's a project I've now been working on for multiple years. Like literally, I was conceptualizing all this stuff in high school and doing it in high school. Of course, thinking it never would come to life until after I'd graduated university, but I digress. I want to wait to tell you guys about it, especially because there's not really anything to show. At least not anything I think you guys would kind of find to be cool just yet. But I have been making my own game alongside Starboyd and a whole ton of other people like DPZ, if you recognize that name. Sleepy Oreo too. We even have our own little team and everything. Although officially Starboyd and I are the only real members of it. I'll leave the link to our site in the description. I mean, there's nothing on it. It's literally just a coming soon page, but you can find like all the links to the other socials that we're gonna start posting on eventually down there. I'm always gonna keep posting normal stuff on this channel. Like, this is never gonna become like, go play my game. I hate that. But hopefully, I mean, if progress continues well, that part of my life can coexist with this, because I never could have anticipated having a YouTube audience. And it is genuinely a dream come true to be able to play games and make videos about games and also create my own stuff. But yeah, our team name is Incovate. You know, like Pen Ink, but we're innovating stuff. Like, it's pretty cool. Moving on though, because I don't want this to become like a plug thing. But do let me know in the comments if the kind of stuff I've talked about in my videos makes me seem like the kind of person who you would trust to tell a good story. Because again, you guys know how much I value good quality storytelling. Our next question is from, and please correct me if I mispronounce your name, JL Guzman. Thoughts on Delta Traveler and its crossover aspect, especially how it does Red Souls? I have heard a lot about Delta Traveler. I've heard some mixed things, but you guys know I love to give things a fair shot, especially if I know there's mixed opinions on things. So listen, let me know if you guys would want to see me cover Delta Traveler, because I'd be down for that. I'd be really down for that. Our next question is from Adelie St. Gabriel 2923. What are your favorite fandoms? Oh boy. Despite all of its problems, and despite the fact that I've moved so far away from it, the FNAF fandom will always have a special place in my heart. I would not be even remotely close to where I am right now had I not been in it. I wouldn't be making music. I might still be programming. An honorable mention though, because I don't want to just leave them in the dust. When I tell you that fans of Thomas the Tank Engine are the shadow bronies of the internet, I absolutely mean it. Always remember this. This is my wisdom to you of the day. Fans of Thomas the Tank Engine are just as frequent as as bronies online, except they're silent like ninjas, except within their own bubble. But God forbid you send off any signals that you're a Thomas fan, because they will flock. I don't watch Salty DK Den, but I know who that is. How the hell does he know so much about Thomas the Tank Engine? You explain that to me. You explain that to me. Our next is from eBreaded, who said, "Congratulations. I love presentation and thoughts in your videos, so I'm really glad to see your channel's growth." Thank you. As for the questions, top 3 plot-focused games, top 3 gameplay-focused games, and I don't know, what's your favorite chipmunk from Alvin and the Chipmunks? I'm gonna answer that third question first. It's Alvin. That's my boy right there. Damn, top 3 plot-focused games? You can't ask me something like that. These are not gonna be in any particular order. I'm not gonna put Deltarune up because it's not finished yet, but I will say Undertale is there for plot-focused games. It does not have my favorite gameplay of any game, so that's why it's not on that side, even though the gameplay of Undertale is very, very good. I wanna say, if this is allowed, the Ace Attorney trilogy. That game completely rewired my head, like my sense of humor and everything. I love it so much. Like, I had a DS, and so I had the original, or I guess technically not the original Ace Attorney, but I was able to experience the trilogy as a whole years and years later, and that was just it was so great. And lastly, this is gonna seem crazy, right? But Cyberpunk 2077. When I tell you, this game pulled me into its world and its universe and kept me there, I mean it. But especially after that patch, like, the gameplay is so good. I love Night City. I love all the cyber psychosis stuff. Like, I was going around reading every single little tidbit of lore. I was going crazy over it. Now, for gameplay focused games, this is much, much easier for me. Top spot, no doubt, Super Mario 64. I'd be crazy if I didn't say that. I play that game from start to finish every year. It's like, it's tradition for me. I have my own Nintendo 64, real hardware. Like, in the corner of my bedroom, there's a CRT where all my vintage consoles and technology is. And yeah, every year I go back to Mario 64. You know, I think I'm gonna say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future. This is an arcade game. I used to be on Fightcade all the time, especially during the pandemic. Just nope, nonstop. And oh man, the next one is, I have a really hard time. Am I allowed to give more? Fuck it, it's my video. It's a tie between Cuphead, Balatro, and Pizza Tower. I know, that's so random, but it has, I can't pick one out of those. And I'm not bumping out Super Mario or JoJo's either, so kick rocks. Question 8 is from Bread OS. Favorite soda? Me! Question 9 is one of the best questions I've gotten so far from Turd Stain. Would you rather eat literal shit or make a video about TCOAAL, the coffin of Andy and Lele? Here's the thing. I know I said I like to give games a fair shot, but everything I've seen and heard about that game has been about it glorifying incest. I already told you guys on this channel I'm an older brother. I'm going to puke if I play that game. I genuinely, even if you were to tell me, no, ronbrazy, that's not true. It's actually a commentary on it and how it affects people mentally. And whether that's the case or not, I won't know. I'm not gonna find out because I cannot stomach that. I just can't. So hand me the shit plate. I have too many siblings to be able to play a game like that. Multiple older, one younger. One of my older brothers watches my videos regularly. If you're seeing this right now, you better regret what you sent me. That video you sent me, you know the one I'm talking about. How dare you? Next up is a question from Cybermech X. What was some of your favorite childhood media? Games, TV shows, movies, books, etc. My first games ever were Donkey Kong 64 and Mario Kart 64. I will cherish those for the rest of my life. If you can't tell already, my first console was a Nintendo 64, and that's what led me to be so infatuated with vintage gaming and all this stuff. I'm no LARPer, okay? I've sunk too much money into this to be a LARPer. TV shows, again, Thomas the Tank Engine is up there, but just as important to me as that show is Teen Titans 2003. When I was a kid, very, very young, the entire series was gifted to me on DVD before I ever even knew what a Teen Titans Go was. And that was my gateway into all of DC. I was hooked. Fast forward a couple years when I was maybe about 7, and I watched the entire DC animated universe. And I have Teen Titans to thank for that, and it's still such a good show. I rewatch that sometimes. I love it. Movies, I had a lot of childhood movies that I loved growing up, but the first ones that come to my mind are the Men in Black trilogy and Cars, Disney Pixar Cars. Oh, and how can I forget another TV show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh my God, I loved that show so much as a kid, and it got me to keep watching sitcoms and everything. As for books, I was a really weird kid. A lot of the books I brought home, you guys remember Goosebumps? It was a lot of that, and just like random mystery novels for kids. I loved the idea of detectives and stuff. One last honorable mention show that I watched, and I really was not supposed to be watching this, but there's this true crime show from the 90s called Forensic Files. And I got to the point when I was really young where I would go out of my way to watch that show. I don't know if that was super messed up or something, or if that did something bad to my brain. It probably did. But, you know, what can you do? Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. Sleep-deprived Brit said, congrats on the milestone, thank you. In terms of a question, out of all the Deltarune theories you've seen, which one would you most like to come true, no matter how stupid it is? Maybe also aside from Woody theory, that's gonna happen anyway, trust. True, that is gonna happen. I really want to live stream Deltarune Chapter 5, and we will rejoice when it happens, not if, when. Unironically, toilet theory. Cammy Boy G's toilet theory. I love that video. I love that video so much. So I know, super straightforward answer, but you guys need to watch that video. The Twilight Wolf asked, what is your opinions on FNAF or security breach in general? I've talked a bit about FNAF on this channel before. Like, we did a whole video on the fandom and some fan content, and I mentioned it briefly in the Poppy Playtime video. I really do think I would be way more into the whole crazy sci-fi stuff they're doing with it nowadays if the visual presentation was a bit different. Poppy Playtime is different for me because it was kind of just like that from the jump. I don't know if cognitive dissonance is the right phrase, but I feel like that comes into play with Five Nights at Freddy's and how it is now. I'm always picturing Scott Cawthon's 3D modeling style when I think of FNAF. And so seeing the current art style, I'm immediately kind of dissuaded from it. I would love to kind of go through and play the Steel Wool games with you guys maybe at some point in the future, but that all depends on your guys' thoughts. You know, I don't want to do something that you guys wouldn't tune in for, because ultimately my job is to create entertaining stuff for you. Alvaro Quintana 9558 asked, have you planned making gameplay vids? It could be interesting to branch. I'm kind of experimenting with it a little bit. I think if we start doing live streams, it'd be fun to do highlights or something. Again, in the Poppy Playtime video, I spliced some of my gameplay in there, and you guys seem to like it for the most part. And I'm so sorry about some of my scares in that. Mascot horror? I don't know. I can't say it like that. I have to force myself to say horror. That's why it'll be inconsistent sometimes. But anyway, I am jumpy when the atmosphere is right. And so if I do gameplay videos, especially of those kinds of games, scary games, that's the one thing I will warn you of. Axel Masters asked, would you rather be irrelevant or insincere? I think I would rather be irrelevant. There's no point in being highly relevant if you are being phony and insincere the whole time. I mean, at that point, it's not really me, is it? It's a good question though, because I feel like there are some people that would answer it differently. Crappy7376 asked, what has been your favorite video and or project you have worked on? And congrats, I've been watching since 6K and subs since 7K. Well, thanks for being an OG. Favorite video so far is the Poppy one. That one was so crazy to see come together, and it's like, I'm really happy with it. I think it's really funny, and I think I got all my thoughts out there in a great way. I feel like I'd add a little more to the Chapter 5 section if I could go back, but besides that, so far it's the best video on this channel. As for projects, it's probably that indie game I was telling you guys about, but as for released projects, Big Engine Brawl. That is basically the nostalgia core, childhood memories FNAF mod themed around Thomas the Tank Engine. I feel like there are a lot of people that misunderstood what the intention was with that, but there's a reason why it was made to be kind of, for the most part anyway, very child friendly. It was kind of meant to bring you back to a simpler time, you know? I really value that. Someday I think I'd like to make a video about why kids cartoons, especially ones for such a young audience, have such massive fan bases. And I could take that time to give some other shows I've never given a chance to. Like, I've never watched Bluey, but I know that has a huge fan base. And I want to look for the artistic merit in something like that. I never want to be the kind of person that denies that something has artistic integrity or merit simply because I'm not in the target demographic. I don't like being closed-minded. Edward asked, do you like cats or dogs? There are some friends of mine that'll get a kick out of this, but I am a cat person, 100%. Both Marks and Rachel Malaski asked if there are any creators that I would like to collab with. The answer is yes. Honestly, I'm open to doing collabs with any other creators. Granted, the style of video lines up, you know what I mean? As long as we're making videos targeted towards the same kind of people and we do kind of a similar style, I'm open to it. Otherwise, it'd be the kind of thing where I'd bring someone onto the channel as like an expert on something that I don't really know too much about. So like inform both me and you guys on whatever the subject is as I continue to talk about it from my POV. There's another video I'm doing coming up soon where we do that, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. This question is from Jimmy Bobo. What soda is in the can? It's anyone's guess. Gun Skylord asked, if you could pick one specific kind of sandwich that you could create at any time, what would it be? It has to have sandwich in the name, so clubs count, but burgers and hot dogs don't. I feel like I have the ingredients ready to make my sandwich of choice pretty much all the time. So I'm gonna say ice cream sandwich, because that's like dessert on the fly. Big brain, big brain. PartyBluke7699 asked, what's my favorite show? That is such a hard question because I like things of so many different genres. I could sit here and say either JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I could say Dragon Ball Z, I could say Teen Titans, I could say Severance, I could say Breaking Bad, and I could say Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And to me, those are all equally fair answers because they cover such different ground. So you know what? My answer is going to be all the ones I just listed. Life hack. Ray asked, which piece of media shaped you as a person or had the biggest impact on you? This might not be my favorite show by any means, but I definitely think it impacted me the most as a person. Steven Universe. Where I live, like I know Canadians are meant to be nice, but where I live specifically is very not like me, I'd say. Or at least people that don't really think like me. And of course people aren't obligated to think like me, but I very easily could have been not a super open-minded person. But Steven Universe is a great show for kids for that reason, because it encourages young kids to explore their own opinions and their own thoughts and beliefs, and it helps me figure out what I stand for, what I believe in. So I'm eternally grateful to it for that. Both the Roundtable series and the Jurassic Grammar asked, when is Big Engine Brawl 2 coming? For context, Big Engine Brawl 2 is the sequel to Big Engine Brawl, and it's been very long anticipated by a lot of people. But you guys, I stepped down from Vickerstown Creations. Control of the team was handed over to Opal Frankie, the Train Nerd, and Jack Orange. They are the board of directors for that team, and for Big Engine Brawl as a whole now. Nothing bad happened, you know, I just wanted to move on. Progress is coming along, but for updates, you gotta go to those guys. And more specifically to the Vickerstown Creations socials, not me. Oh boy 3am asked, what indie franchises would you love to cross over? I think it would be really funny if Uzi from Murder Drones went to the bar from Valhalla Cyberpunk bartender. Final answer. Proud Half Canadian asked, what kind of music do you like, besides Radiohead, since everyone I know likes Radiohead? I have very vast music taste, but what you'll find me listening to most often is a mix of a lot of like chill, deep house music, and if you don't recognize that, look it up, that's like mecore, or just hip-hop. My favorite artist of all time is J. Cole, just based on his discography, and also personal impact on me growing up. When I was a kid, I looked up to him a lot, just because of his journey and a lot of the messages he had, and not all, but a good amount of his songs. Seth the user said, congrats man, glad your content is finally reaching more people, you make some great stuff. Thank you! As for questions, are there any other games or franchises in general that you'd like to cover in future videos? There is this really kind of abstract idea for a discussion video that I wanted to do that is very much about the way the term psychological horror has changed over time, and I think a great way of highlighting this would be by comparing You and Me and Her to Doki Doki Literature Club to Me Side, and I got a lot of strong opinions on that, and I also think it would be a really good topic. If that sounds like a good idea, sound off in the comments if you want, but looking forward to doing that someday. I Like Stuff says, I have two big questions. Have you watched object shows? And if so, what are your favorite ones or one? When I was very young, I was exposed to a lot of object show content, but besides that, I never really got too into them. However, you may be in luck for a future video coming up soon. So stay tuned. Logan Johnson said, congrats on the milestone. Thanks, Logan. For a question, what are your thoughts on Portal? Great. Portal 1 and 2 are excellent games. That is how you design puzzles, Mob Entertainment. Jeez. Derek for the win said, happy 10K, got my OG ticket. Damn right you did. Outside of the things you make videos about, what shows, games, and stuff do you watch and play? I have a very love-hate, on-again, off-again relationship with Street Fighter 6. Never talk to me about that game, but please do, but never do it. You know what I mean? There's your example right there. I have a lot of mixed feelings about The Boys Season 5, but I've been keeping up with it. I'm really excited to see how the show ends. I really hope it's not terrible. And The Outlast Trials is such a fun game to play with friends. If you can stomach the gore and stuff and just really disturbing gross content, you and your buddies should pick it up. It's great. I'd recommend that to anybody who can stomach it. Newer Viv asked, pancakes or pancakes? I'm sorry to break it to you, man. Waffles. Sumaya said, congrats. Thank you as well. On behalf of blowing up questions, did you expect the Neo Woody Theory video to blow up so much? If not, did you have fun making the video? Did you expect to blow up this much in the span of a couple weeks? Did you expect it in your earlier videos? What communities do you really cherish? And how did you get the name ronbrazy? Well, I absolutely did not expect Neo Woody Theory to blow up so much. I was really hoping it would at least a little bit, and I definitely had a lot lot of fun making that video, especially since Train Nerd was like, "Don't do it! What are you doing?" I absolutely did not think the channel was gonna blow up this quickly. I could not be more grateful, but I am so shocked. I'm trying my best to live up to whatever expectations you guys might have for me. As far as I'm concerned, this channel's just gonna get better and better and better and better and better as time goes on. As for communities I cherish, I think I answered that one earlier. FNAF seriously introduced me to so many people that I love and cherish in my life. And ronbrazy, during the pandemic, I went through this phase of changing my screen name over and over again. Like, I'm saying I had a new username every month. But ronbrazy was the one that I landed on that was just, it kind of just stuck. I liked it. But yeah, thanks for the questions. Fatima asked, will you play Spoono? What the f is Spoono? I tried so hard to figure out what this was. I Googled it, I looked on their profile, like maybe you have a Spoono video. What's Spoono? I don't know what a Spoono is. Can somebody tell me what is Spoono? Oh hey, here's my buddy Oval Frankie. Dear Mr. Conductor, where were you? Frankie?
Dwayne, get out my fucking comment section. Go do something, man.
What 1am asked, doors or wheels? Wheels. Here's another friend of mine, Evening Rain. So, voice reel video when, Mr. Brazy? At some point, I definitely have to post a voice reel video. Again, I'm a voice actor, but I don't have an updated voice reel. It's a little bit silly, but it shall be corrected in time, don't worry. Hopefully this month. Beanie Boy asked, are you going to see TADC episode 9 early? And if so, when? Don't you worry, chat. I have got my June 4th tickets primed and ready. I'm thinking I'll probably make a video as soon as I come out of the theater. The title and the thumbnail will not have any spoilers in it, don't worry. I will wait to do that until after the episode comes out, like, officially on YouTube. What's your favorite indie show? Like Helliva or Has-Been or MD or TADC? Listen, I think The Amazing Digital Circus is, from a writing standpoint, much more sound than, say, Murder Drones, but the world of Murder Drones, I love. Like, I love that universe so much. However, I'm really looking forward to that show, Hey. I backed it on Kickstarter. I think it's gonna be really good, and it'll bring back a lot of good memories because it's styling itself after those sitcoms we were talking about earlier. Dude Duck asked, if you were a Darkner, what do you think you would look like? Exactly how I look right now. Here's my buddy Generation CX. Have you ever met Bon Crazy? You never bring up that name here, do you understand? You never bring up that name here. Alter Yeah asked, hi, how are you? This is important. Thank you so much, I'm doing great. Leonidas Pro asked, what is your favorite line from both Undertale and Deltarune, or your favorite line from one? Oh dude, this is such a hard question, but I think the first one that pops up into my head was when Queen was all like, okay, there's nothing wrong with him, he's just annoying. That's just such a good reaction picture. Aiden the Riot asked, are you planning on making a full playthrough of Chapter 6? I would love to see it. I'm assuming this is about Poppy Playtime Chapter 6? I think so. I think I will do a live stream. Don't worry, I will make a huge fuss about the live streams every single time. I want that to be a thing that everybody's around for, and I think we can make that happen. Roscoe asked, how long have you been making music? As of this year, 5 years. That is wild to say out loud. JKing446 said, hey, congrats on the milestone. I just found your channel and I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. Hey, I'm glad, thanks for sticking around. Now for the questions. 1. What topics are you planning on talking about on your channel? I'm curious, since you seem to have a variety of things posted. 2. What is your favorite genre of video games, and what franchise is your favorite from said genre? I kind of see this channel as an opportunity to talk about what I call the indie fandom space, where there's a lot of overlap between the people who like stuff like Deltarune, but also like The Amazing Digital Circus and like Five Nights at Freddy's. Although that sometimes stretches out to things that aren't necessarily indie, like Smiling Friends, for instance. But it gives me the opportunity to talk about other internet fandoms just in general, and I think that's a really fun premise for a YouTube channel. I do kind of want to talk about other stuff on here too, like I'd love to cover Nintendo things, but that's the kind of thing that I would hold polls for, to get your guys' thoughts. And honestly, I think my favorite kind of game has gotta be like a 3D platformer collectathon. I love those so much. So we're talking Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and honestly my favorite franchise out of those is Mario's. Nobody does it better than Super Mario. Yaks asked, that was criminally hard to say, by the way. Congrats on this milestone. Thank you very much. My question is, what is the hardest part of making your videos? I don't really script my videos. I just kind of have these bullet point notes and I freestyle the rest of it because I want my videos to have this kind of conversational feel, like you're talking to a friend who just so happens to be kind of funny. So honestly, the hardest part of making these videos is thinking of ways to put my thoughts together in a coherent way, because sometimes I want to say things that are a little more funny and other times I just want to be really punctual, so I flip-flop back and forth between that, which maybe that's my own fault, but that does make it the hardest part, at least for me. I couldn't tell you how hard it is for Sabera to edit the videos. You'd have to ask them about that. And last but not least, from Kibby Anderson, do you enjoy video game?
No. I hate video game. I hate video game.
And that's all the questions we have for today. But before we go, we just want to give a quick thanks to our patrons, including Roscoe13 and
Our very first drink of doom, Serenity Solstice. Your unwavering devotion has not gone unnoticed by the Brazy Empire, and it means so much to us. Thank you.
if I missed your question or if you have a new one for me, feel free to drop it in the comments and I'll try to respond to as many of you as I can. Thank you to everybody who asked a question and to everybody who subscribed so far. I think we're gonna do great things together here. And I really can't wait for you guys to see what we have in store. But I am going to go celebrate my birthday. This has been ronbrazy, and I'll be seeing you all next time. Catch you later, y'all.
It seems I've shown you what I can do with the soul that goes into these tunes. You should laugh at my songs, 'cause that's the reason I keep living. My immaturity knows your security, and I need to poo.